What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brooklyn Jessica. If you guys are new, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Girl, we about to do a little tell all, and this is my first life update video, so I'm really nervous. Okay, I don't know why, but I'm nervous. But let's just dive in. So if you guys are new to the channel, I am Brooklyn J, but I'm now trying to juice it up, spaz it up a little bit. So my middle name is Jessica, so that's going to be one of the changes for my channel of 2024, going by Brooklyn Jessica instead of just Brooklyn J. I just want to be more grown woman, you know. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. I have not been super consistent over the last couple of months. I would say I was consistent from January to August. After August, things kind of slowed down for me just because it was a lot going on. And I had all intentions to return back to the screen after I did like my Dallas vlog. I had all intentions to come back and start like vlogging again. However, that did not happen, but there was a lot that happened in between time. So today we're going to be diving into that. And girl, I hope that you get you a little snack, get you a little drink. Let's get into it. You guys have been following me for a while. You guys know that I have been living with my sister in this apartment. It's been 2 years now, going on 3. And yeah, so at the top of this year in January, I had decided like I feel like it's time for a change. I feel like it's time for something new. Let's go apartment hunting. I was looking for like my dream, just the dream, you know, like the dream apartment. I was looking actively, and I know actually I got a lot of subscribers by all of them, but this one in particular, it almost is at like 10K. So shout out to y'all if you guys started following me or subscribed to my channel from that. I have been looking actively, well, I had been looking actively for an apartment back from January up until August. I was going to allow that to pretty much carry my channel. I was going to allow that to, you know, for you guys to get to know me, for my channel to grow, and for you guys just to kind of follow me along with just my next step in life. And my next step in life was to get my own apartment outside of living with my sister. And I love my sister dearly, so it's nothing like that, but I just have always desired to have just my own space. I feel like this was a great start, but I'm like, okay, it's time for the next, you know. I know what it's like to pay rent. I know what it's like to pay bills, girl. So, you know, I'm like, I think I can handle something on my own. Okay, I think I can do it. Right up until August, I was actively showing you guys every single place that I toured, the pros, the cons, how much it cost. I never really said what my price range was, but if you kind of have followed the videos, you kind of could guesstimate that I wasn't trying to pay like $2,000 for one. So yeah, I just did a lot of those videos, and I got a lot of new supporters from that, and just people who just enjoyed my content from me doing those types of videos. My lease was up in December, and it is currently December 21st. I want to say, yes, the 21st. And as much as I would have loved for this video to be taken another direction of me guys showing you guys my new spot and me showing you all that I got the dream apartment, that unfortunately is not what took place. Now, this is where the information is kind of coming at, okay? So in August, I just was not finding anything that I liked. It was like I would just always have this like lack of peace whenever I was kind of touring these places, whether it was the neighbor. It wasn't really ever the neighborhood, but just like the community just in general. I'm like, it's something about it that's off. It's something about it that I'm not feeling. So in August, which was the last time I toured an apartment, I was like, you know what? I'm giving it up. I'm not going to look anymore. And my sister and I had decided that in December, which is December is now, we had decided like, okay, girl, you know what? We'll just continue to live together. We're going to stay here. We're just going to, you know, continue to build with each other as well as individually, but with each other as well. And we had just decided on that. Like it was, we stopped talking. I stopped talking about an apartment. I stopped talking about moving. I had just decided to become content with that being the trajectory of my life for another year. I put it out of my brain. I was like, I'm gonna stop thinking about it. I'm gonna stop talking about it, because I felt like I was imposing my own will. I felt like that's not the direction that the Lord wanted me to obviously go into. So I was like, we're not gonna worry about it. We're just gonna stay here. We're gonna stay here together. Well, girl, right. So I had made peace with that. Like, that's the thing. I made peace with it, right? And October came along. It was actually September 30th, right? I had just gotten home off of work. I had gotten, me and my sister, we got some Chick-fil-A. We were eating, and my apartment actually has like really big windows. I'm able to see outside of my apartment. So like I can see the parking lot. I can see like people. I can see outside of my apartment. So, okay, I just hear this bang. Mind you, I'm in my apartment, and I just hear this bang, like this boom. And I happen to look outside. I'm like, I know that ain't my stuff. Girl, why was somebody trying to break into my car? Okay, they were trying to break into my car. So it was a whole situation with that. So I'm like hitting my emergency button, trying to get them to stop, and eventually they did like get away from the car. But like, I'm just hitting it. They are not leaving my car. Well, they left it alone, but they are not leaving from my car, and they were trying to break into my car. So this was September 31st, and from then on out, I felt so uncomfortable at my place. Like, mind you, guys, my apartment, and I'm not doing this in like a show-offy type of way, but it is really expensive. It's expensive, and it is in actually a nice neighborhood. Like, it is in a nice area. And I'm not saying that that means that things can't happen in nice areas, but like, for the amount of money that we paying, girl, the security, you need to up the security. So this was October 31st, September 31st. It's no 31st September, girl, September 30th. So going into October 1st, this was something that my sister and I was like, we really need to pray about whether or not the Lord actually wants us to stay here, or if he wants us to relocate, or to, you know, like, not to relocate, but to go to another complex, or whatever the case might be. It's so crazy because October 1st was when the situation with my car took place, when they were trying to break into it. And like that next day, on October 2nd, I want to say we had gotten our letter to say whether we were going to move back into our place. So we were on our face before the Lord, like consistently praying, like, Lord, do you want us to do this? Please, you need to show us. We don't know what to do. And I'm sure you guys can imagine that when my car was trying to get broken into, my mother especially, she was like going nuts. Okay. So it's like, it just felt unsafe, you know. And I had never felt that way in my place. I had never felt unsafe. I had never felt like I should consistently be watching my back. Not saying that I was like naive to the fact that things can happen, or as though I didn't pay attention to my surroundings, but I'm saying it was like on an all-time high after the situation with my car happened. So my sister and I were consistently praying. We're like, Lord, you have got to show us. I had to let them know by November 1st, my birthday, BTW. But I had to let them know by November 1st if we were going to renew our lease or whatever the case might be. So this, keep in mind the dates. This was September 30th that this situation happened. So after the situation happened, I decided to start parking my car in a different area. So the parking garage that I was using, the parking garage, you know, it was cameras in there, but it was no like security nearby. They said that they would be doing rounds and stuff like that, but I never really seen nobody like that, just saying. So I decided, okay, let's start parking right where the security is, so that way, God forbid, something happens there, right there. So I was uncomfortable from October 1st, like that whole week I was really uncomfortable. But you know, as time went on, I became a little bit more comfortable. It was like, okay, you know, it happened, but it'll be okay. So, but you know, we're still praying. My sister and I were still praying about like what it is that the Lord wanted us to do, move back in, go somewhere else. What is the situation? So, you know, moving forward, it comes October 18th. It was October 18th, and you know, it was about 6:30 in the morning. I was leaving out of work, and I was actually waiting for my sister because we usually will walk out together. And she was like taking a little bit longer, and I'm like, girl, I gotta go. No, I gotta go to work because I have to be there before her. So I'm like, okay, on my way, I go outside, and y'all know like the buttons on your car to like open it, close it, whatever the case might be. I'm like hitting the button. Usually I always hit my button while I'm walking, just to make sure, if it's anybody trying to do anything to it, you get away. You know, I might scare you a little bit. I hit my button so that way, if anybody's trying to like do anything, or if it's any cats, girl, you know, it be cats and animals and stuff under the car, and we don't want that. You know, I'm not gonna play with you. So I'm hitting it. It's about 6:35 in the morning, y'all. I'm hitting the button, and I don't hear no beeping, but it didn't really alarm me off the simple fact that I know sometimes like I'll hit my button and my car didn't immediately beep, right? So I'm hitting it, 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 you know, I'm not hearing anything. So my car, I had a Hyundai Elantra, which is silver, and I was going close to where I was parked at, and there was a silver car in there. So I'm like, okay, maybe my battery's dead off of my key. I'm like, maybe I have to get a new key. This looks so inconvenient, blah, 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 blah. So then as I'm getting closer to the car, I'm like, but that ain't my car. So my car was stolen. Okay, so they got me. The Kia boys got me. Okay, they got me. So my car was stolen. Mind you, I was about to go to work, girl. I was about to go to work, and I had to end up calling out of work because my car was literally stolen. Which for me, you know how you hear that type of stuff on the news all the time, but when it hits home, oh baby, it hits different. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, somebody really stole my car. Someone really stole my car. So I'm like, gracious. So they got me. So I ended up calling my parents. I'm like, hey, like my car's not out here, blah, blah, blah. So I ended up having to call the police, and you can see, like, I'll insert a clip. I think I still have it. But like, you can see the glass that they were trying to like get in. They got into the back window, and I guess they climbed or whatever the case might be. And I just remember feeling, I wasn't really sad about my car, because I'm not gonna lie, I did want a new car anyway, but it just made me even more like unsafe. Like not even a month after my car had gotten almost tried to get broken into, now my car is stolen. So it made me uncomfortable. But although it made me uncomfortable, that was my answer right there. That was my sister and I's answer right there. We were like, okay, well girl, we ain't gonna renew the lease here because clearly it's unsafe, right? So we didn't renew the lease. We decided, like, I think that same day or that next day, whatever the case, we wrote a letter saying like, hey, yeah, we're not going to be renewing our lease. Now, not renewing the lease really wasn't the problem for me, but the problem became, okay, where exactly are we going to be moving? Because I'm going to be honest, y'all, I've been out for almost 3 years now by myself, and it was like, it wasn't my pride, but I'm like, I'm not trying to move back home. I really don't want to do that. I just really enjoyed having my own space. So, we're praying, we're asking the Lord. We decided, okay, yeah, now we know that we're not going to be renewing our lease, but it's like, okay, but where to? What are we doing? What is going to be next? And I will say that next never came. I don't know why I feel like I'm about to cry, but the next didn't happen, right? So with that being said, I am going to be moving back home temporarily until, you know, I just kind of figure everything out and figure out what's going to be next in my life. Figure out where the Lord is planting me, which I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit of a bummer, you know, because I'm 26, and not that there's anything wrong with being home at 26, but it's like you work hard for your things, you want to see that elevation, you want to see that increase, and sometimes it just feels like the Lord you don't see that increase, you know. And I was really sad about having to go back, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm trusting that even though I'm going back for a moment while I just kind of go back to the drawing board and figure everything out. I still am believing that God has a next level for me and that he has something even greater for me than an apartment even here in my city. That is not how I expected and or wanted the end of my year to end. However, it kind of forced my hand to break the lease and to not continue to live here, because at this point it's just not even a safe environment, and I would rather be safe, you know, and ultimately safety is of the Lord, but I would rather be in a more safe environment and, you know, kind of go back home for a little while than to be prideful and to stay here and the Lord's hand is off of my life and then I'm locked into a lease for another year, which I do not want. So I did move. It wasn't what I expected, but yeah, it's still taking place. So this is actually going to be your last vlog, my last vlog being in this space. We're actually moving out this weekend. Saturday the 23rd is our last day. So if you guys just, you know, keep me in prayer and just continue to, you know, lift me up, because I don't know exactly what's going to be happening next. And I'm not going to lie, it is something that I'm a little bit sad about, just because it's like, you know, you work hard for your things, and I feel like everybody's, well, at least everyone's mindset in life should be to move forward, and it feels like I'm taking a huge hit and a huge setback, you know, and it feels like I'm going backwards when I really wanted to progress to the next. But we're gonna see what the Lord does in the next couple of months, because he still can move even this year. And in 2024, this is going to be my last vlog of 2023 for sure, because I'm moving out, and it'll be a next year and a new year when I see you guys, and I just want to start fresh. So when you guys see the environment changing, or you don't know, you know, you might see a different background or whatever, that is because I'm no longer here. So yeah, that's pretty much everything that took place. I have some other, you know, situations and things that I'm going to touch on in the future next year for sure. But for right now, I'm signing off. I just want to say Happy New Year to you guys. I love you guys. I will be back early next year, and I hope that you guys also subscribe if you guys are not, because I would love to have you a part of the family, and I would love for you to pretty much go through this life journey with me as I kind of rediscover myself, reinvent myself, see what the Lord has for me in that next season. And we're going to start fresh. We're going to start fresh together, and I'm excited, because even though it does feel like a setback, I know that the Lord has something greater for me, and I know that he has that next for me. And I'm really excited to take you guys along with me on my journey of just rediscovering, reinventing, and finding out who I am, who I want to be, and what is next for me. So yeah, make sure you guys subscribe and stay tuned for the journey. We definitely have a lot in store for 2024. So Happy New Year, and we'll talk soon. Bye.